We have a new participant with us this time, Vinod. Hi, Vinod. How are you?
Hello, I'm I'm great. How are you guys?
You look lovely today. So, what is
Thank
it
you.
that you're going to perform today, Vinod?
Initially, I'd come with the idea of like doing stand up because I have been to a few open mics, never like online ones, and it has been a roller coaster. By the way, like witnessing all you guys like go through your artwork. I would like to call it art. Like generally, what you guys have done, it's an art of emotion and it's amazing. And hopefully I'll be able to. I don't know if I'll be able to uplift the mood, but I hope so. And
we had we had another stand-up comic Pratibha, but then she couldn't join in. I'm sure she would have been really happy to see another person doing stand-up because to be honest, stand-up is not that like people are not participating that much. I believe that's what I think again. So I think all forms of art should be respected, and I'm really happy to see a variation in here in the program today. So I hope it's gonna be really good, and I'm sure it would be.
thank you so much. So I hope everyone's doing amazing. This year
Also,
has been a
I'm so sorry to break you. Just
yeah,
just before that, is your like the act needs interaction?
sort of
Does.
like
All right. So people, could you just unmute yourselves and you can
Yeah, done.
interact with the nod.
thank you so much. Really appreciate it. This year has been amazing. I would like to call it because everyone will disagree with me. Everyone will say this year is shit. Like 2020 worst year, Corona, this that everything. But do you realize how overly fast all of us, as like a generation at least, I would say, I would not call humankind or everything, as a generation, how fast all of us are going, or we were going like before COVID? So fast, man. This slowed us down. This was the speed breaker everyone needed. Like in everyone's lives, be it students or people who are working or family, this was the speed breaker which was needed. I was supposed to graduate in March, and then they were like COVID, and I don't know why, but they chose colleges, and my college to quarantine COVID positive patients. So that was great. and and before that, COVID was something which was like a fake, not a rumor, we knew that was true, but in my class I had students going to professors and fake coughing on the professors to scare them off. So it was not something which was taken that seriously. And so I didn't take it seriously as well. I You see the numbers, you're like fine, but everyone thinks it's not going to happen with you. And when you hear of something, I think everyone came to the realization point that COVID is, oh shit, actual shit is going down, is when the nearby colony or somebody nearby got it. And then you're like, this is serious. And if you remember a few months back, COVID, everyone, फटी पड़ी रहती थी. COVID is like, oh, it's so serious. But now everyone is chill about it. They don't give a damn about COVID. Everyone must know somebody who's gone through COVID and gotten over with it. Like not just once, twice, thrice. Because COVID is multiplying. It is like our generation. It wants to do everything. It wants to be in all forms. And so it is multiplying and doing everything. So people are like, हाँ COVID होगा, I will get through it. And one of the main reasons why I would say that COVID has been a good thing for us is because, for me at least, I was able to understand what I wanted to do. And because I was a very confused guy, I wanted to everything. ये करना था. Even now I would say I am confused, but थोड़ा रास्ता clear हो गया है. That I want to do something in particular, general एक field में. And so, but there was a drawback that I didn't leave my house for, I think, 6 months. I didn't step out even once. घर में था, just like that. And nice jhapad and everything from parents. But after a while, buffalo skin, you get used to it. And so I didn't. But when I stepped out around, I think 2-3 weeks back, like recently, malls were opening, shops were opening, I noticed one thing. There was a point when even beggars used to have cell phones. Now even beggars have masks. And I think it's gonna revolutionize how the entertainment industry and how everything else works. And the one industry that I feel bad for is children. because we are lucky to have studied pre-COVID. We had everything. We had fights. We could share lunch, which was amazing. You had a buffet every day in your lunch
Roll on
break.
the ground with friends.
Yeah, you could do anything you wanted. You could bunk class. It was amazing. Now I feel that it's gonna come at a point where everything goes back to normal, but mask is gonna be like an important feature. Mask is gonna be a part of uniform. There's gonna be a case where a student comes with a wrong mask and the teacher's like तुमने सही mask नहीं पहना है, यूनिफॉर्म वाला mask क्यों नहीं पहना, ground दौड़ो, run 2 rounds. You have to wear the correct mask and come. And I feel that because of this, I had pen fights. I don't know if you guys know, but pen fights used to be amazing. We used to have bets
I know,
around pen
right? I
fights.
know. Like I used to play that every time, and I still remember all of the pens that my dad gave me, like the expensive ones. They were all confiscated, and all jhappers and thappers and tamachas at my place. Then in the evening.
I used to ask my
I
parents for
hated pen fights.
why.
I hated pen fights. I used to lost. I mean, I apparently get lost in every time. Every time I get lost.
Man, it
And
was
when a
just fun.
class, I remember there's this short anecdote. I was sitting on the, I guess, second desk, and then my best friend and I, we were playing pen fight, and our English teacher was teaching and writing something on the board. And like she was super sweet, okay. And suddenly I'm like in full josh. I'm like cut, and the pen flew and hit her head. And
Oh,
uh, and that day, I just my ideologies about my English teacher changed a lot because uh, my bumps were basically red, and because my school was a missionary school, and then you have a lot of trend of those wooden scales on your hand and your bums, and like it was a bad experience. So yeah, anyway.
no, but the key to a pen fight I would like to tell you is heavy pens. Because a heavy pen can knock everything out. And I remember asking my father, like my dad used to be very pissed that I didn't write with ink pens. He used to be like, no, write with ink pens, fill the ink. Like it's a process. That's how you be a student. Dude, I had like 5 rupees pens and I was fine with it. But I remember my dad was super proud one day when I was like, I need an ink pen. I need to like really write well. And the very day I broke that pen in a pen fight. And then I had it at home, man. Because my dad bought like ink bottles and the ink dropper thing and but regardless, that is something kids are gonna miss now. Because it's gonna be teachers in mass. And one more thing is group photographs. Like after a year is done, first standard to 12th standard, you're gonna have group photographs, man. You're gonna recognize that one idiot who broke his tooth falling down the stairs, you know. But now kids are not gonna have that. They're gonna just have like masked ones, and that's just sad, man. I just feel bad for that. And I would like to say that this has also come to a point where Corona has become like a trendy thing. Like I don't want to use the N word, but everyone knows what the N word is. Like yeah, everyone knows what the N word is. It was a bad thing. Like it was racially discriminatory to like black people. But the Americans made it like, no, my, the N word. I don't want to say it. But no, they made it a cool thing. And now I think that this generation can make anything cool shamelessly, sadly. And it's become a trendy thing to tell that I am of a Corona batch, man. Because it's a free pass. You might have not studied well, but it's just assume you studied so hard, you did all your projects, and then Corona came and messed it up. And that has now like transitioned to marriages. There are so many Corona marriages happening. Why? Why do you want to get married in this season? Why do you want to be the reason that people gather and they're like, तुम्हारे शादी में आए थे और हमें कोरोना हो गया? Why do you want to do that? You can't wait for like a few months when everything is fine. And this is like awesome. It's like amazing. Like people are like, और कुछ करने को नहीं है, and we want to get married now. I have my cousin sister getting married in uh, like a few days, and they came home and they were like, we would like you to come to our marriage, and it would be wonderful if you came. And I was like, okay, but next year, right? You mean October next year? And they were like, no, 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 no. We mean like this year, this month. And I was like, So what food arrangements are you going to have? Because the one thing I enjoy about weddings is not going to weddings. You have to buy a present for them. Even if you don't know them, you have to stand in a photograph. And that one photograph is like memory for them that you gave them a bad present. Because you can't, trust me, you can't afford presents. As a middle class person, I know this. You can't afford good presents for them. The maximum for the past so many years, any marriage I've gone, I've learned this from my parents, shameless plug, is take an envelope, 500 rupee note. Thankfully, that didn't get banned. 500 rupee note, give it to them. They can buy whatever they want out of that. And what I enjoy about weddings is food. Dude, you enjoy food. It's amazing. How are you going to eat food in a corona period? You're going to be shit scared about what you're touching. And I asked them, I was like, okay, what's the food arrangement? They were like, everyone comes with mask. And for food, they like put the mask down and they eat and then they put it back on. So like every morsel you take, you're like, acha, and then you put it back on, which is just dumb. And there's no point to this. And there's like so many complications about people coming and like giving gifts or something. You're just gonna have everyone come with their phones, Google Pay. Hello, congratulations, you got married. Here 500. Here 500. That's what's gonna happen, basically. And but yeah, marriages, it's gone through everything. Like people, students who wanted to go abroad and study. I was one of them who wanted to really go abroad and study, and that couldn't happen, and that just sucks. But that made me realize one thing: there is no other country better than India. And I would say this to every person of every country: there's no other country better than your home country. And I'm very grateful to COVID that it made me realize that. Because before COVID, I was like, yeah, I've been in India for like 12th standard tak pada hai, and I've like been to other places in India. That's great. I need to go abroad now to study because I need to experience that. But what I realized was I missed going out in India, despite being in India so much, that I don't think I want to go abroad right now to study. And I'm super grateful for that because there's so much of India to explore. So much. भूतों की हवेली है that I've never heard of before. I want to go there and explore कि actual भूत होते हैं कि नहीं. That sounds insane, but I'm just saying. I want to go trekking. I want to go to all other places. And it is so amazing that COVID has made us realize a few things like that, that we have a lot more to explore and that we might have been lazy, but this is a time where we have to stand up for ourselves. I mean, I am doing stand up sitting down, contrary to what I'm saying, but we need to stand up for ourselves for what we want to do because this is the one life we get. I mean, sure, you might be born again, but will you remember this life? People say, okay, I'm going to be born again. It's going to be fine. But are you going to remember this life? Are you going to have the same memories? Are you going to have the same people you have dreams with to achieve? You're not. So enjoy while you can. And I don't think this has been a stand up of sorts. It's just been some kind of monologue. And I'm really apologetic for that. But I'm super grateful for this opportunity that I got to talk with all of you and hear all mind blowing pieces of poetry. I am not a poet of any sort. I try to be. There is just one, I would like to read out one poem that I wrote when I was 12 years old. Because it reminded me of a poetry that I wrote when I was 12 years old, and I was like, I should tell this. And so, it, wait a second. Yeah. And yeah, so I had a stray dog, and this is one more point I'd like to mention that during COVID, a lot of people have come to know of a lot of animals or like for adoption, which I would like to promote that people, if you have place in your hearts, that's enough, and like a slight space in your house, obviously, because animals need to roam around. But if you can adopt an animal, there's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than that to give back to nature. And I had a stray dog, and I wrote this way back. It's called Man's Best Friend. Man's best friend, a creature of a human heart, with whom a relationship will never bend. A companion through all seasons. To love it, you don't have to find reasons. Through all circumstances, it will guard. From all seasons hard. It won't ask you for anything. Every morning, a bark of joy it will bring. For only care and affection it will long. It's just man's faithful friend, a dog. So that was it. And that's
The
my time. Thank you.
the poem was really good, and what I really loved about your act. Yeah, like, you might call it a monologue, but I would still consider it as a stand-up act because it was really
Thank you
unique
so
in the
much.
genre. And like what I really appreciate about is that you revolve around the day-to-day topics, and then you literally I guess the I should say setup or your act literally was showing that how well you have observed things before preparing this. And the best part is that you did not feel the need to be obscene to be funny. That is the best part.
Thank
And
you.
that is what I am appreciating since the time you started speaking. Because see, what happens in the stand-up circuit out here is like people will abuse two times or something like that, or people will bring up something obscene and they will make it funny, which is okay for it has an audience to cater to and everything. But then what you did was like really, really good.
Thank you
So
so
I'm not
much.
sure if a lot of people know how to appreciate this kind of art and or this kind of comedy setup, because now we all have that mindset that comedian will come up on the stage and use some obscene words and have
Yeah.
some foul actions, and then they'll just leave off the stage. But it was like yours was like really good. Like I'm
Thank you
really
so
appreciate that,
much.
man.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.